Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's the weekend.
It is, and I am super duper excited because we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. And I do have at least one moment in the show where your head may explode.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
One of those stories that, I decided to save for the weekend just in case you go through a string of explicitives. So, anyway, hey, scientists in China found the remains of a prehistoric mammal about the size of a cat with the remains of a tiny dinosaur called a parrot dinosaur in its stomach. It was startling because the first proof mammals hunted dinosaurs. This is the very first proof ever. The conventional theory is that early mammals were timid creatures the size of chipmunks cowering from giant reptiles. But they're saying, hey, this was a mammal with a dinosaur in its stomach. So
But a tiny dinosaur.
Yeah, still a dinosaur. Hey, Heidi's going to love this. Eating at home can save you some cash. A study warns, though, relying on cookbooks to prepare food can be a recipe for disaster on your budget and in terms of calories. So they're saying if you're cooking at home, you're going to save some money, but if you're relying on a cookbook, you might be packing a lot more calories in there. So you've been cooking a lot of stuff at home.
I have been cooking a lot of stuff.
What was the
at
stuff
home.
we had the other day?
Chicken Oscar.
Oscar. I didn't.
So
know what that was.
good.
It was good.
I
Yeah.
love hollandaise sauce. It's amazing.
So I bet when we look at the calories.
Oh,
on
the
that,
calories on hollandaise sauce, because it was milk and butter pretty much. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably not so hot for you. Coming up, we're going to tell you what's happening special this weekend. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. We've got two different things here. We got Saturday, April 9th, and Sunday, April 10th. We'll start with Saturday. National Cherish an Antique Day, National Former Prisoners of War Day, Recognition Day, Appomattox Day, Baby Massage Day, Bring Your Own Cup Slurpee Day, Jenkins Ear Day, Jump Day, Slow Art Day, and Winston Churchill Day. So that's all Saturday. Now, Sunday is ASPCA Day, Global Day to End Child Sexual Abuse Day, National Farm Animals Day, National Siblings Day, Salvation Army Founders Day, and Safety Pin Day. So it's one heck of a weekend, let me tell you. I don't think there's anything this weekend that I'm going, I really want to get out and celebrate that. What is Jenkins Ear Day?
I have no clue.
I don't know either. Baby Massage Day Saturday and Safety Pin Day Sunday. Those two kind of go together a little bit. Maybe not anymore, because you don't use safety pins on diapers
Not really
nowadays,
anymore.
do you?
Some people still use cloth diapers.
Well, there you go. So celebrate that, I guess. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Heidi, when you were a kid, did you ever hear about the cow that jumped over the moon?
Yeah, of course.
And the dish that ran away with the spoon?
Yeah.
No clue whether or not the dish ran away with the spoon is true, but there's evidence now that the cow did jump over the moon. And this story proves it. This actually comes from 1997. It's from a while back, but it's an awesome story, and I thought, we got to share this. The dazed crew of a Japanese trawler, that's like a little boat that was out in the water, was plucked out of the Sea of Japan, clinging to the wreckage of their sunken trawler. The rescue, however, was followed by immediate imprisonment. Authorities questioned the sailors as to what happened to their ship, and they told a man there that a cow had fallen out of a clear blue sky and struck the trawler, shattering its hull and sinking the vessel within minutes.
That is awesome.
So they're out in the middle of the ocean, the Sea of Japan, and a cow attacked their ship.
Huh.
The
I wonder where
prisoners-
on earth they came from.
Well, they remained in prison for several weeks until a Russian Air Force reluctantly informed the Japanese authorities that the crew was not lying. They were absolutely telling the truth, Heidi. The crew, says here, of one of their cargo planes in Russia had apparently stolen a cow that was wandering on the edge of a Siberian airfield. They forced the cow into the plane's hold and hastily took off for home. Unprepared for live cargo, the Russian crew was ill-equipped to manage a now rampaging cow within its hold. So to save the aircraft from being destroyed by the cow, they opened the door and they pushed him out as they were crossing the Sea of Japan at 30,000 feet.
God is my witness. I thought cows could fly.
So they were flying over the Sea of Japan. They pushed a cow out, and what are the odds that it would hit something?
Oh, my gosh.
But it did. It hit a trawler. And these guys were in prison for 2 weeks because they thought they were lying about being hit by a cow.
Oh, my.
What happened? We were hit by a cow. No, seriously, what happened? Yeah, we were hit by a cow. And they really were. And now you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your car on drugs. Okay, it's your brain on drugs, but we could probably call this one your car on drugs. In Louisiana, a reliable family car suddenly developed a tendency to decelerate, leading to the discovery that it had been driven for years with $40,000 worth of cocaine inside the gas tank.
How would they not know when they were filling it up that it doesn't hold much gas? They probably just thought they got terrible gas mileage.
Well, the gas mileage would have been fine. They just never, it doesn't take much to fill this one up. They've probably just thought it had a smaller gas tank. Well, a suburban New Orleans family bought the car. It was a 96 Toyota Camry. They bought it in 97, so it was only a year old when they got it, and they bought it from a used car lot. When the car started losing speed, it was taken to a mechanic who discovered 2 bricks of cocaine wrapped around the vehicle's fuel line. The wrapping had apparently come loose, and the car's owners are not involved in drug trafficking, but their names were withheld in case the owners of the missing cocaine came looking for them. Investigators will now attempt to work backward to figure out where did this come from and who had the vehicle.
Well, if it was only 1 year old, there shouldn't be that many owners to go through.
But the problem was, I bet it was probably a lease car that came in, or what do they call those?
Rental
a rental,
cars.
yeah, a rental that they bought off lease or whatever they call that. That's probably what happened, most likely. All right, coming up, we've got your moment of duh. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
I'm not really a fantastic speller, but I'm better than this guy. You're a really good speller.
I am a good
I'll
speller.
ask Heidi all the time, like, how do you spell something? And she's like, blah, 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 blah. You know it. Usually you don't say
That
blah,
was
blah,
the
blah, blah.
one class in school that I always did really, really,
bet.
really well in. I never
Yeah.
had to study at all. For some
like-
reason, it just makes sense to me.
You're like Rain Man when it comes to spelling. When it comes to math, you're not like Rain
No,
Man.
unless I'm trying to figure out how much money I'm saving on a
I've noticed
product
that. Yeah, you're
in
good
the
to have.
store.
Well, a man wanting to rob a downtown Bank of America in San Francisco walked into the branch with a stick-up note. Says, this is a stick-up, STIKKUP. Put your money, MUNY, in the bag. While standing in line waiting to give his note to the teller, he began to worry that somebody had seen him write the note, and they might call the police before he gets up there. So he left the Bank of America, crossed the street to the Wells Fargo. After waiting a few minutes in line, he handed the note to the Wells Fargo teller. She read it, and surmising from his spelling errors that he wasn't all that bright, said, I can't accept this note. It's written on the back of a Bank of America slip. You're going to have to go across the street, which he did. And he was arrested a few minutes later while still waiting in the back of the line. So,
My.
yeah, that guy gets some sort of genius award, spelled GENIUZ. All right, coming up, we've got your scoop of the day.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. The thin, lightweight glass on your smartphone could soon be found on your car. Ford will be the first to use what they call Gorilla Glass for a windshield and rear window.
That
in the
is
new...
so fantastic.
Yeah,
I
Ford
am
GT sports car.
thrilled to hear this.
Why?
They should have this in every car so that your windshields don't freaking break all the time. I get so sick of it. Every single car we have has at least one rock chip in it.
Maybe I should quit following people so closely on
Yeah.
Breville.
Oh, yeah. That would be a very good idea. But that's wonderful.
That is
That's
cool.
wonderful. That is such a great
But
idea, and
does that
all
mean-
manufacturers should do it.
Does that mean it's not going to break, though?
It won't break
that.
as easily because that's
All
what
right.
Gorilla Glass is. You put those over your cell phones,
Okay.
and then it keeps your phone from breaking.
All right.
It
Well,
can
that's-
break if you try hard enough, but it
All
won't
right.
break with like a tiny rock chip, just like they do now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
There's 4 stories I'm not going to be able to read now. but
Sorry,
that's
I'm
cool.
just super excited about that. I'm so sick of replacing windshields.
Twitter has reached a deal with the NFL to stream Thursday night football games. They are going to pay about $10 million for a 10-game package. Now, I'm not great with math, but that's about $1 million a game. I hope they make that much back. That'd be great. Glamour magazine has a plus-size issue, including Amy Schumer, along with Adele and Ashley Graham, as one of the women that inspire us.
Okay,
But
now
they did it-
I have to say,
Hang on. They did it without telling her first. How would
Telling
you
who?
like to be Amy Schumer, I believe?
Yeah.
Schumer shared a photo of her name in the magazine on Instagram, writing, "I think there's nothing wrong with being plus size, but Glamour put me in their plus size issue without even letting me know I was going to be in a plus size issue. Now I don't know how to feel about this." So,
well, and that's what I was just going to say. I'm not a fan of Amy Schumer at all, like not even a little bit. But she's a size 8.
yeah.
That is not plus size. That should not be considered plus size in this country. You know how many issues they are going to give women in this country
Yeah, I
if
don't
a
know.
size 8 is considered plus?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what a size 8 is. I have no clue.
A size 8 is about it's what I was when I lost all of the weight on the diet. That's a size 8.
Oh.
So that is not plus size
Well, there you go.
at all. I think that's unfortunate for all of the young girls
Well,
today
Glamour magazine.
looking at that saying, "Oh, that's plus size." That's insane.
4 more stories I have to take out.
See, you're not a female. You don't understand. You don't have all those body issues
I'm
that
just
young
saying.
girls have to deal with, and I think that's
I've got
unfortunate.
a job to do over here. A high school student. from-
Usually you complain because I don't talk enough,
I know,
and now
what
I'm
happened
talking
to
and
you?
you're complaining.
You're finally awake for a show. And I'm kind of wishing you'd take a little snooze again. Hey, a high school student from Long Island, New York, has got some celebrating to do. A monumental decision to make as well. Augusta Uzama Nana was accepted to all 8 Ivy League schools in the United States. So this kid is so smart that's celebration right there. But now Augusta has to decide which of the 8 Ivy League schools do I want to go to. I kind of had that same problem when I was a kid.
I'm sure you did.
Everybody was saying, you should come to school here. Actually, I don't think anybody invited me. I even had some people that sent me letters saying, please don't come here. Wyoming tops the nation in chewing tobacco use. 1 in 6 adult men in the state of Wyoming use chewing tobacco. Government researchers found men use chew or snuff or other smokeless products at much higher rates than women do. Really?
Well, duh.
Did you have to do a government study for that? You know, I'm not saying that no women do that, but there's very few. It's a little unusual to see that. I don't know. Maybe it's not in Wyoming because that's where that happened. All right. You ready for our last story?
I am.
Usually I get to more than 4 stories, but today I didn't. An Australian study says children exposed to violence in video games and on television display similar reactions to those who witness war and acts of violence in real life. So they're saying that if you let your kids play violent video games, it's going to affect them, just like if you were sending them to the front lines of a war.
I agree with that.
According to that study. Time for our strange law. Women, beware. In Pennsylvania, you must get a permit to wear cosmetics in public. That's in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
That is a strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening. You get a second scoop on the weekends here, Heidi. I always love this. And it's good because today I got a lot of stories I didn't get to in the first scoop.
I won't say a word for the rest of the show. How about that?
No. Please do. Has anyone ever told you that we look alike? We've been together now for 16 years. They say chances are if you've been together quite a while, you might actually start to look alike. Researchers from the University of Liverpool, in conjunction with the University of Durham and the University of St. Andrews, have determined the longer you're with somebody, the more you grow alike in appearance. Do you agree with that at all?
No.
I think that here's part of it.
Mannerisms, yes.
I think
but
mannerisms,
not looks.
and things that you'll say, because I notice that you and I, there are things that you'll say that I say. Like the other day, we said something exactly at the same time.
Yeah.
And also, if you're eating the same, because you're together so long, you eat the same, you're going to start to, we both
You'll both
gain
be
weight
just as
together,
fat.
and we both. But I'm saying we gain weight together and we lose weight together. So I could see this definitely.
But that doesn't make you look alike.
Apparently it does. Hey, did you know that taking a break from it all actually benefits your psychological health? Journal Applied Research in Quality Life Studies have shown the largest boost in happiness comes from the simple act of planning a vacation. I think we need to do that.
I think so, too.
In the study, the effective vacation anticipation boosted the happiness for 8 weeks. So they're saying the planning of the vacation helped just as much as the vacation itself. So let's start planning one now.
Okay.
Even if we can't take it till 2019. Robert Lamar and Richard Landers stole a Jeep Cherokee from a repair shop, then headed over to the nearest 7-Eleven. They offered to trade the Jeep for 2 six-packs. The clerk declined the offer, of course, then called the police, but the two men were long gone before they got there. End of story, right? Wrong. Keep in mind, we're dealing with dumb criminals here. They returned to the same store 2 days later and again offered to trade this Jeep for 2 six-packs. This time, they weren't so lucky. An officer arrived in time to arrest them while they were there. So, there you go. Dutch pedestrians asked a policeman to stop a fight between a cat and a giant rat. They didn't want to get involved themselves because the rat was about 12 inches long. The
Ew.
Roosendaal city policeman separated the animals using a broom. He hit the rat on the back, but the broom broke in half. The rat survived.
Jeez.
With half of the broom, he brushed the rat into a nearby stream. The cat, meanwhile, made an exit while this was all going on. So, that's a big rat.
That is a very big
It's a crazy big rat. And here's a story that might make my wife's head explode. Little League team too good to be allowed to play. Take a listen to this. I just don't think this is right. Can a Little League team be too good to be allowed to play against other teams? That is the story from Apache Junction, Arizona. The Apache Junction Little League team, known as the Hooks, have been terminated from this baseball season, and parents are furious. The league's governing board accused the team's coaches of rigging the player draft system in their favor so they could get some of the best players. The team denies it, and the 8 and 9 and 10-year-old players say they're tired of being harassed for being too good. So these kids are really good, and they're going, "Oh, that's not fair. You can't
unfortunate.
play against my kid that's not good."
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, one Hooks player says, "I just think they're jealous, and they want to make up stories."
Well, here's the thing that people need to realize. In real life,
Yeah.
there will always be someone that is better than you.
Yeah,
And
that's the
you
way it
need
works.
to learn as a kid
8, 9,
how
and 10.
to deal with a loss.
8, 9, and 10-year-olds.
And how great would it be if they allowed these teams to play for the team that supposedly isn't as good as them that is able to beat them on one of those nights?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is a huge self-esteem booster.
That's like every movie
it's
I've
real
ever seen.
life.
These are the
I mean,
good guys.
just let them be.
Have you ever watched a movie? Doesn't that always happen? The team that's awful ends up beating the awesome team?
Right.
Anyway, another player said, "Our whole family doesn't like being called cheaters. We're being called liars, too." So this kid's baseball team is being called a bunch of cheaters, and it's not sitting well with moms and dads. They're outraged, and I would be, too. Their kid's baseball season is now ruined after only a month of practices. Heidi, they haven't even had a chance to play
That is so
one game.
ridiculous.
So Apache Junction's Little League board told the upset parents that their kids will have to, quote, join another team if they want to play this season. I don't get that. Now, the parents say their kids are very depressed. They worry that breaking the players away from all of their friends that they've made takes away all the fun.
Now, if there is proof, though, that they cheated, that's a different story. If they cheated
How
to
did they
try
cheat?
to try to stack their team in their favor, that's different, because then you're teaching kids, if you don't do something about it, you're teaching kids that it's okay to cheat to get where you want to be in life, and that's not okay either. So if there is proof
There's
that
not.
they did that,
According to
that's a
this-
different story. But if they're just good, they just happen to all be good players,
Yep.
then that's just not right.
And according to this story, there's no proof that any foul play happened. It was just those were the kids that happened to all be on this team.
Yeah.
which, you know.
Yeah, then that's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay at all. Anyway, on April 1st, the Apache Junction Little League Board issued the following statement in response to the story. They say, in Little League, one of the responsibilities of the governing board members is to maintain the integrity of the league. The Apache Junction bylaws state membership may be terminated by resignation or action of the board of directors, blah, 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 blah.
First of all, these people
Blah,
are
blah,
all
blah.
taking Little League way too
Well,
seriously.
They're saying, their statement literally just said, according to our bylaws, we have the
We
right
can
to
do whatever
this.
we want.
So, but they're not saying that we did it for a good reason. And they're saying that the players affected by this provision, refunds will be issued. So they're saying you'll get your money back. You don't have to worry about it. And then it ends with Apache Junction Little League appreciates the continued support of our Little League community. Yeah, I'll bet they're going to get a lot of support. Some of them may be attorneys. I just think that's ridiculous. And I can't believe that you didn't freak out more about it than you did.
Well, because I don't know all the facts.
No.
And I think that if there's proof that they did something wrong, then they did something wrong, end of story.
But according to this story, there's no proof. In the response, they didn't say the reason we're doing this is because you guys cheated. They're just saying, hey, we don't need a reason. It's in our bylaws.
Yeah.
And to me,
That's
if there was a
unfortunate.
reason, they would have said, because you cheated, this is what happens. But it doesn't say that in the response. So anyway, moving right along. That's going to be your bonus scoop. Coming up, we've got some fun facts to share on this weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The 3 most common seasonings found in an American home are seasoned salt, chili powder, and cinnamon. Yeah. More than pepper? But there they go. The 3 most common seasonings in Americans' homes: salt, chili powder, and cinnamon. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Romans used to believe that walnuts could cure head ailments. You know why?
Why?
During the time of the Renaissance, they believed so because the shape of the walnut looked like that of a brain, so they thought there was some correlation, so they would rub walnuts on their head if they had a headache.
That's scientific.
Don't know that worked. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Over 1.2 billion people in the world live on less than $1 a day. It can
Wow.
be done. 1.2 billion people.
That's outside of the United States,
I'll bet
clearly.
it is. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Some Roman statues had detachable heads. You know why?
Why?
So when a new ruler came along, they could just change the head.
Ah, that's a good idea.
That's kind of funny. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
About 1.25 million yards of fabric have been used for Barbie and her friends' dolls since 1959.
That's
is
cool.
a whole lot. I'm going to throw in one last fun fact for you here, even though we're not quite, we're a little over our time here. But fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Baskin Robbins. You know, they got all those different flavors. Mm-hmm. Plain vanilla accounts for 1/4 of their sales. 25% of their sales, all plain vanilla. So there you go. And I guess right along with that, Dairy Queen opened their first store in Joliet, Illinois. Another fun fact. That's going to do it now that we're way over our time. Thanks for listening to some fun facts on a weekend.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that'll help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Politics can be boring, Heidi. I know we get a little worked up over politics in our household. It is fun to watch presidential debates with my son. He's 19 now, and it's even more fun to watch it with my wife when she's drinking wine. You guys get kind of riled up. But where will our future politicians come from? Few and far between, according to a survey from job information company Recruit Co. They say that 21.4% of boys and 26.7% of girls pick politics as their, quote, least desirable career choice, end quote. So 21% of boys.
It's a thankless job.
It is.
I don't know who would want it.
21% of boys, 26% of girls said that's my least desirable choice. And you were saying thankless job. I can tell you, the community we live in, I had a person come to me and say, you should run for city council. And I started going to the city council meetings to see what do they do here and would this be something I'd want to do. And then I said, no way. I'm not really interested because they
No
have
matter
to make,
what you do, half of the people are going to be mad.
they have to make decisions that don't look, I'm a fun guy. I want to do fun stuff. I don't want to sit on a board and have to make a bunch of decisions that make everybody mad. No thanks. It ranked lower than the high-rise construction worker and lower than the Army as far as career choices. Some of the high school seniors surveyed viewed a life of politics as, quote, boring and awful.
First of all, I'm just going to interrupt you. The Army is a very noble career choice. There is nothing noble about deciding to be a politician.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry,
Wait
but
a minute. No. Because
you might have noble intentions,
Yeah.
but as soon as you get in, all bets are off. As soon as they get elected, I'm sorry, but it's true.
It's like the movie Mr.
One of
Smith
them,
Goes
they're
to Washington.
Slimy.
Hey, why don't you go back to not talking to me again for a while? And the kids also went on to say they believe that political work, quote, doesn't matter. A majority of the girls surveyed said that they would like to become an actress. That's what they wanted to do. Doesn't say what the majority of the boys wanted to do, but certainly wasn't politics, I can tell you that. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about ID theft. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Heidi, have you ever had anybody steal your ID?
No, nobody would want it.
I had somebody pretend to be me for once, and then they reached out to me and they said, I'm sorry that I stole your ID, and your credit's worse than mine, so
Here's some cash.
Here's $20. No, I've never had anybody steal my ID. I did have a friend whose ID was stolen, and it was awful. I saw all the stuff he had to go through. It was terrible. Law enforcement authorities now are becoming increasingly worried about a really sudden, very sharp rise in the incidence of identity theft. The outright pilfering of people's personal info, and it's being used to obtain credit cards and loans and other goods. The good news is, Heidi, we are safe because we don't qualify for credit cards or loans or other stuff. Honestly, we do. We get credit card offers all the time.
We do. We just
throw 'em
don't
away.
use credit cards.
Yeah, we don't do that, Ken. We used to have credit cards, but we don't anymore. So I'm glad we don't. Can you imagine how terrible that would be if we had that
Oh
on
my
top of all of our other
gosh.
headaches? Anyway, identity theft is going through the roof. So guard your identity with your life. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about proof that evolution is not true. Well, maybe proof.
John and Heidi.
All right, this story headline says, here's proof that evolution is not true. Now, the headlines don't always fit the story, so should we read the story and see what it says?
Sure.
All right, it says, new research in Nature magazine suggests that apes and monkeys might have an equivalent of the golden rule for behavior. The idea that primates are paying one another for labor with the intention of being paid back proves true, especially when it comes to hunting. When one chimpanzee or monkey can't easily bag a prey by itself, it recruits others to help with stalking and corralling. Then, when the prey is in hand, the hunter shares the prey with its helpers, which reinforces the cooperative behavior for future hunts. What does that have to do with evolution is not true? Does that make any sense at all?
No.
I don't understand some of these headlines and how they fit the story. So there you go. According to that, the author of this story says that means. Now, I don't believe in evolution myself, because if we all came from monkeys, then why are there still monkeys? That's my question. But
Those just weren't very smart monkeys that were able to make the
I
transition.
see. There you go. Coming up, we've got another story about a hit-and-run accident. This is an interesting one, and it's a very bizarre story, but it's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
This is kind of an interesting story right here. There was a guy that was the victim of a hit-and-run accident, And he says, I will not press charges if the guy driving the car reads the Bible every day. The man was caught that hit him and then drove off. Al Knowles was the guy that was hit. He's a 90-year-old pastor from the United States. He was hit by a Taiwanese driver when he was out walking in Taipei. The driver took off. He was arrested shortly after the accident, though. Knowles, again a 90-year-old retired pastor, suffered minor injuries and says the driver can make 100% amends to me by just reading the Bible. Knowles, who has
How
lived
would you
in Taiwan.
enforce that?
Well,
I
don't
mean,
know.
are they going to make him go to the prison and read the
I don't
Bible?
know. But
you
I
know?
thought it was an interesting idea. Knowles now has lived in Taiwan for 25 years. He gave the driver 2 Bibles, one in English, one in Chinese. The driver accepted the offer, but this is the interesting thing. He'll still be charged by the public prosecutor. So even though this man said, I forgive you, here's what I'd like you to do. I can't enforce it, but I think it's going to make good changes in your life. Here's what I'd like you to do. Public prosecutor's office says we're still going to charge you. Because he drove away from the scene. So this guy forgives you, but that's fine. We don't. You drove away from the scene. So I don't know how that all works out. Coming up, we've got some good news to share. It is on the way on a weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up here with some good news. And I think this is really kind of a cool thing. And I don't know. I'd like to go check it out. We'll see what Heidi says. I showed her a video or a photo of this online. But if you've ever doubted that Noah could build an ark as large as it says in the Bible where all those animals could have fit on it, well, according to a news source, visual proof is now here. The Noah's Ark recreation near Williamstown, I believe this is in Kentucky, or maybe it's in Tennessee. It's close to completion. CBN News recently went behind the scenes at Ark Encounter. And it's a giant ark, and as it's coming together, they've got all kinds of cool video footage and photos. Ken Ham is the founder of Answers in Genesis, and he headed the Creation Museum. He says this is 510 feet long, 85 feet wide, and 51 feet high. Ark Encounter opens to the public this July. Is this something you'd like to see, Heidi?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's the real one. It's not like they found it in
I
the
understand
bottom of
that.
the ocean or something.
But
That
it
I
was-
would go see.
it was-
I don't need to see something that some modern day guy with way too much time on his hands decided to build.
No, this is what this was. They wanted to prove that it could be done, and they built it according to the specifications that you find in Genesis 7:7. And in Genesis 7:7, that's when Noah and his family entered the ark. So that is why they're opening this ark on 7/7/2016. So if you're wondering, why would they have picked July 7th? That's why.
Now, if they turned it into a giant zoo and all the animals were really there, I'd go see that.
I think that there will be animals there.
I would go see that.
I'm almost positive.
Because I like it. I like zoos.
So if you'd like to see more about this, I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page. I was absolutely fascinated by this because as I was looking at it, I'm like, look how big that is. That is gigantic. And when you're trying to picture something on a small little page of a book, it's kind of hard to envision that in your head. But when you actually see it, and I'm not seeing it in real life, I'm seeing just images on a computer screen. But I can only imagine, this is 510 feet long, 85 feet wide. Just for reference, Heidi, our house is 36 feet wide and 36 feet deep. It's like a 36 by 36 square.
All right.
This is 85 feet wide, 51 feet high, 510 feet long. It's huge. So, anyway, we'll have to go check that out.
I wouldn't say that's like my number one vacation destination or anything.
I didn't say that. I just said I would like
Ranks
to go check
right
it
up
out.
there with the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota.
We've been there. All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system, like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
For our bonus break today, I decided to share 10 superfoods. If you want to feel better, look no further than the end of your fork, Heidi. Here are 10 superfoods that can boost your immune system, boost your brain function, even give you a youthful glow. Would you like that?
Sure.
No prescriptions needed. No pesky side effects. Just dive in and make sure you put the right things on the end of your fork. What are some of the right things? The top 10 superfoods? Tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes.
I like tomatoes. In things, I don't ever eat just... I know people cut up tomatoes and just eat them. I don't like that, but I like them in my food.
Generous amounts of the antioxidant lycopene in tomatoes. It'll help your skin maintain its youthfulness, may reduce the risk of developing heart disease as well as several cancers, and includes breast cancer, lung cancer, and colon cancer. This is a good fighter of those, so I'm not sure where you're putting these tomatoes, but, you're eating them. That's what it is. Fish, oily fish, salmon, sardines, mackerels. They're packed with omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation. They have also power to lower your blood pressure and decrease your triglyceride levels. So fish, or at least fish oil. Next thing on the end of your fork is nuts. I've never seen anybody eat nuts on a fork. Have you?
No.
Okay. Maybe you don't put those. But like the fatty fish, they're high in omega-3s. They're great for your heart and for your brain. Many studies have showed that nuts lower the bad cholesterol, the LDL, and they reduce the risk of developing blood clots and improving the lining of arteries. One that I actually love now, and I never used to like it because I'd never tried it, broccoli. It says here, all cruciferous vegetables. What is a cruciferous vegetable?
I have no idea.
Which includes broccoli, cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. They all contain cancer-fighting phytochemicals. I don't know how you say that. Anyway, they're good for fighting cancer. So broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, and cabbage. Next on the list, grapes. I like grapes, too.
I love grapes.
Rich in antioxidants called resveratrol. That is an anti-inflammatory and anticoagulant. Red grapes have been shown to extend the lifespan of test
I love
animals.
red grapes.
Grapes contain several other powerful nutrients that keep cancer at bay. Yeah, you get your grapes.
I have doses of red grapes every day.
Yeah, in wine. I don't think that counts.
I bet it counts.
No. Berries are another superfruit.
I like berries.
Blueberries, love them. Raspberries, love them. Other deeply colored berries, they all contain these same photochemicals known as flavonoids. These antioxidants have been shown to improve brain function and slow the growth of some cancers. My computer just popped up telling me I have something going on here. Leave me alone. I'm in the middle of something else. How about this over here? Tea. Green tea and white tea contain large amounts of EGCG, an antioxidant linked to lower risks of heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, and numerous types of cancer. So green tea and white tea has a lot of EGCG. They should have EGCG-TG.
Oh, my gosh.
No? You don't think so? Cranberries, they say those are really good for you, too. Help with cholesterol and a bunch of other things. And garlic contains...
I love garlic.
Helps keep carcinogens from entering the cells. According to studies, garlic, as well as onions, leeks, and chives, lower the risk of stomach and colon cancer. And the last thing on the list is going to be Heidi's favorite superfood, chocolate.
I love chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate is a superfood. Studies suggest that antioxidant-rich chocolate has a low-dose aspirin-like effect that can help prevent both heart attacks and strokes, lower blood pressure, and improve blood flow. So there you go. If you want to have the best meal possible, have some tomatoes, fish oil, nuts, broccoli, grapes, berries, tea, cranberries, garlic, and chocolate. And if you've got a recipe that includes all of that, please send it to me. Can you imagine mixing all of those things together? Do you think that would be good?
I don't know.
Probably
I'm
not.
sure you can come up with a recipe.
All right. That's your bonus break. It is brought to you by our good friends at Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, you need a better system. Knowles Systems has a thing called commercial mortgage bridge loans that earn 6 to 8%. It could be just what you need. Get all of the details at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.